A number of years ago, I was in a relationship with this one guy, and we were together for a few years, actually lived together. And at that time in a relationship, I tended to be more of the guy who was looking for deeper emotional conversations and connection and affection, that kind of thing. I was totally that guy. And the guy who I was dating then was quite a bit different. He was more to himself and reserved and liked his own space and time, so there was a lot of issues that could come from those differences. This one day he comes out to me, I'm in the living room, and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I need a couple hours to myself, kind of in the bedroom. I'm just going to be doing my own thing." And I thought, okay, that's fine. I know he downloads music and does that, so I was like, okay, go ahead. A couple hours later, he comes back out and says, "Hey, just want to let you know I'm all done, thanks," but is still in the bedroom. And I thought, okay, cool. So I get up and I walk over to the bedroom, and I'm thinking yeah, we can connect again. And so I go over to him and I just start kind of being cute and affectionate and rubbing his shoulder and saying "Hey." And he's just like, What do you want?" And I was like, what do I want? Forget it, nothing, I don't want anything now. I storm off all pissy. And I was just really hurt, And it wasn't long after that actually that we wound up breaking up. We didn't have the know-how to have the kinds of conversations that could bring us back to a point where we could reconnect and we could keep the love alive in our relationship. And that's something that we're all looking for. Conflict in relationships is so normal. It happens all the time, and it happens when our partner does or says something that kind of sets us off. For me, it was when I saw my boyfriend kind of pull back a little bit. That's what triggered me, and it's something that is re-wounding. So for me, it kind of felt like, why don't you want to be near me? How come you don't want to be close? Do you not love me? It kind of goes to that place, whether we're conscious of it or not. And when that happens, then we can become defensive pretty quickly, And so for me, again, it was about, kind of barking at him and running away. So it's a very natural response for us to have to fear, which is fight or flight. Either we're going to be kind of being aggressive towards our partner and kind of being nitpicky or critical, or maybe we throw up a wall and we push our partners away. But either way, it's two sides of the same coin because we're keeping our partner at arm's length. We're keeping distance there. A power struggle is also something that's really common in a relationship. That happens when we feel that there's competing needs that are going on between each of us, and it feels like only one person's gonna win out. And with gay men in relationships, it can be that much more intensified because it's two men, so it's easier for there to feel more of a sense of a competition. And in addition to that too, we also have this hypersensitivity to feeling disconnected, because we grew up marginalized, so we have a whole lot of experience feeling on the outside and feeling like the other. So when we're feeling that again in some way within our relationship, that's gonna be really painful. When conflict happens, we can basically do one of two things. We can either react and kind of just get launched into a fight, or we could maybe take a moment to pause and consider some things and find a way of responding. The first thing that we want to do is just be aware that we're having a feeling come up for us. We don't have to know what it is quite yet, but just be able to identify it so that when these things happen, we know what that feeling is and what it means. Something just got triggered. After that, we then can consider, okay, well, what was the trigger? What just happened? Maybe my boyfriend didn't return my phone call after 5 hours, or my husband is making some snarky remark about dishes in the sink. Whatever it is, we just want to put our finger on it so we know. After that, we can figure out, well, how did that make me feel? What did come up for me? Yeah, I was irritated and annoyed, but probably was also hurt. Feeling kind of sad and put off in some way, feeling distant and rejected. If we can actually be that brave and we're honest with ourselves in that moment, actually be able to put our finger on some of those things, then we can open up. We can share that with our partner. We can just kind of be honest with them. We can be vulnerable. It takes a lot of courage and strength to be able to do that. And when we do that, it reinforces to ourselves that what we're feeling is normal. And it also invites our partner to step into our own process. We kind of do this with our arms. We're open to it. It's going to create much more of a likelihood for our partner to come in and say, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it that way," or "I didn't mean to do this. You know that I love you." Even after that, we can take it one more step and just say, "Hey, I know this is kind of my own sensitivity and my own thing that kind of comes up, but I just want to let you know so in the future maybe you can kind of be aware of it too, and you can help me out." That way we're asking for support, we're asking for a little bit more attention, a little bit more sensitivity. We're not trying to bully our partner into it and to be responsible for how we're feeling. We're just asking for some help. When we're able to take that angle for a relationship, it's going to be so much more healing for us because those emotional wounds are pretty historical and kind of predate our partner anyway. It can help us heal that part for ourselves. It's also then going to help us reconnect with our partner that much quicker and actually help us feel that love again. And when we do that, then that's how we keep a more long-term fulfilling relationship going, and we can also keep the love alive. And that's something that we all deserve.